Welcome everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the North Pole region for my fakemon region so far. So, all these images are made in AI, just going to clarify that. So I did not draw these, they're made in AI, but I pretty much made all the descriptions. Some of the names are from AI, but I'll talk about that later. So yeah, this is the North Pole that I generated. I like it. So over here we got some like houses. This is where I would assume the people live at. This is kind of like where I think Santa would live. You know, probably if this was Pokemon, maybe Santa's like the champion and he's like the Elite Four, and they're all in here. I don't think there's really that many gyms. Maybe they're on the outsides of this place, but this is like the main town, you know? So let's move on. So we got the main, so this would be like the professor, but the way I kind of made this story, it's not really like a professor. But pretty much Santa, he makes Pokeballs. He has a workshop to make Pokeballs, and then every single year, you know, he goes and hands out the Pokeballs to the kids that he goes delivers the presents to. He has a stash of milk and cookies in his vault, and he has a cool office that overlooks the North Pole. So this is sort of like the office, I would assume, or like the workshop that he has to make all the Pokeballs in. And from the inside, this is what the inside looks like at the workshop right here. So he makes a lot of the Pokeballs there. It could be anything from a normal Pokeball to a Great Ball to an Ultra Ball. But then he hands them out to all the kids. So it's pretty cool. He likes to give presents. Next up we got Krampus. Now this would be the protagonist. Now Krampus from his origins is pretty dark, but I made this kind of light. So pretty much Krampus hangs around the woods plotting to steal Pokeballs whenever he can from the workshop or from the excess that pretty much Santa makes. Krampus at times sneaks into the workshop and puts a note into the Pokeball saying, "Please send the Pokeballs back to the North Pole. There's been a recall, and the address is below." I thought it was kind of funny. I think he's just giving kids like their recall address. He's like, "Yeah, you need to send your Pokeballs back. Sorry," and then gives them an address like they're supposed to do something with that. And then the reason why he does this is because Krampus doesn't want the basically surrounding Pokemon to be captured. He wants them to kind of just pretty much exist. So we got the workshop here, and then we got Krampus coming in to steal the Pokeballs. Now with AI, it is hard to actually mimic this image and then make it into this. So that's pretty much what I got. So yeah, that's Krampus coming in to steal the Pokeballs or put the notes in. Our protagonist is Jolly. So Jolly's is one of Santa's elves, probably one of like the better, like higher tier ones. So she travels with Santa to deliver Pokeballs to the children. Her staff can change the appearance of the Pokeballs to the child's favorite color, or if they have like a preference of like a Great Ball, Ultra Ball, like a Quick Ball or something like that, she can basically change them. Or just change how they look in general. She isn't much of a trainer, but she likes to raise the Pokemon at her house to have them work at the workshop later in the year. So she just kind of raises Pokemon. She doesn't really actually fight anything. She just kind of like a breeder is how I see it. So yeah, Jolly's pretty cool. Next up we got Snowball. This is our first starter. So Snowball is a snow child Pokemon. So the description is, when Snowball pretty much walks around or is inside the winter forest, it likes to hide under the ground until the weather gets cold enough for them to come out and walk around. So pretty much I picture them like maybe like the spring, summertime, they kind of just hide out underground or in very thin snow, and then during the winter time they pretty much come out of the ground to go walk around and stuff. Next up we got Frigiduff. Now this is the first AI generated name. Snowman Pokemon. The description is, walks freely around generating small gusts of cold air, likes to punch trees for fun to test their strength. So it walks around freely and it generates cold air, so it generates kind of its own coolness around it, so it can walk around without having any weather ailments to be affected in that. It kind of generates its own cold. Next up we got Smooches. This is the third evolution. If you watch any of the previous two videos, this is actually the first time I did a 3-stage. So we got the Snow Monster Pokemon. So the description is, every year a few Smooches come to the North Pole, bringing with them a heavy blizzard. So this Pokemon, instead of having gust of winds, has blizzards. The blizzards can only stop if they get some hot cocoa. And I imagine them coming to like maybe a small, like maybe like a village type thing at the North Pole to like maybe someone's house, and they just hand them some cocoa, and it makes them cool down a little bit, and they have a good time together. Next up, we got stupa. Now, this is a combination of stove and I think I made it place. Oh yeah, fireplace. Fireplace and stove. It's kind of a combination of that. So this Pokemon that kind of very voiced, like doesn't really have much going for it. It's pretty much just a fireplace or a stove. So it's a stove Pokemon. So its description is a sizzle, sizzle, crack, pop, pop, making sounds of fire. Next up, we got hardle. Maybe should change the name a little bit, but it's a fireplace Pokemon. The description is not able to move by itself. Hardle stays in one spot to be used as a warmer for people. So there's, it's a fireplace. They just throw wood in to make the house get warmer. It doesn't mind because it keeps them warm as well. So those Pokemon, maybe they're a little bit cold and they need some fire to warm them. And since they're in the North Pole, it's cold most of the year, so they're going to have them running a lot. Next up, we got wooplace. This is the final evolution. Now, my theory behind this name was wooplace. So wood, fireplace, combine them, you get wooplace. So this is the furnace Pokemon. Wooplace hates snowmen, but likes to vaporize trash, excess materials from the workshop, and not use Pokeballs. So it's mainly just a dispenser to just get rid of stuff. He looks pretty mad and pretty evil, but I think he's pretty cool. I shouldn't use cool. I've used that word like a billion times. Sorry. I need to go find different words in the dictionary. So we got Pinal up next. This is the baby tree Pokemon. It's adored for being cute. Pinal takes advantage of people by stealing their shiny orbs they put on them every year. Now, if you celebrate Christmas, you know what I'm talking about. Pinal's pretty cute, though. I actually like this generated Pokemon. Next up, we got Ornament. So this is ornament and kind of like pine tree. If I'm not mistaken, I combined the two. So this is the tree Pokemon. The description is, after stealing enough orbs, Pinal turns into Ornament and starts to generate their own orbs glowing brighter. So this Pokemon becomes the orbs. It becomes the embodiment of a Christmas tree. It starts generating their own ornaments. Next up, we got the last evolution. I actually prefer this one the most. I think this one's really cool. We got Aurora Tree. So this is the brightest tree Pokemon. Under moonlight, Aurora Tree grows many branches and sprouts an array of different orbs of all kinds. This attracts many people to see them during Christmas time. So this Pokemon just becomes one of the brightest Christmas trees on the block. It's like your neighbors that blind you. But that's what this Pokemon does, and I would imagine them like in a group of like 10 or so, and they just become very, very bright, and people go watch them. It's like an event. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas. See ya.